when I don't want to have crazy stuff like 2-amino-5-methylheptane, or is it 2-amino-5-methylhexane? Who knows anymore? Do I want N-phenethyl dimethylamine citrate every single day?
Welcome to PricePlow.
What's happening, PricePlow Nation, and all you Spartans out there looking to drop some fat? This is Mike Roberto, founder of PricePlow, and if you couldn't tell, we're doing a Sparta Nutrition review today, and I have the new reformulation of the Hydrashred fat burning powder. So for those of you who watch this channel frequently, you know that I'm a big fan of these. These, not just this product, but this category of products in general. I often use them as my kind of morning energy drink. I do drink coffee, but when I don't drink coffee, I'm drinking something like this. And I love the thermogenic effects you get from them. I do like to drink my caffeine. I'm not a huge pill popper, actually, and so I'm a big fan of this category. Now, for those of you who've been following us and Sparta Nutrition for quite a while, you know that this is the second formula of Hydrashred. The original formula had two flavors, a cold brewed coffee and a mango flavor, but it also had DMHA in it, and a pretty good dose of that. And I actually have some right here. This might be going out to a certain video editor. I might need to shake the tub a little bit. Anyway, so they actually have reformulated away from DMHA so they can have a bigger international presence. They got into Vitamin Shop. And if you're a little bit disappointed about the reformulation away, well, there's other products that we've reviewed on the channel that have this. But what about the people who are like, yo, Mike, okay, these fat burning drinks sound pretty cool, but I don't think I want to be drinking 2-amino-5-methylheptane or N-phenethyl dimethylamine citrate. What do you got for me? And the next step, the more mainstream step, is the Hydrashred fat burning powder from Sparta Nutrition, the new version. And you can tell it's a new version. Just look at the branding. You see all this right here. That means it's the new reformulated version that's out in vitamin shops and all that. Now, this is a busy label, and we're not going to go crazy talking about everything, but it's similar to the original version. They have many, many different ingredients that are getting you caffeine. And so that kind of like busies up the label a little bit. And they've done a couple things to kind of replace the DMHA, but it's not going to be the exotic stimulant feel that you get from that. And in my opinion, that's sometimes a good thing. I don't always want that. But at the end of the day, Sparta Nutrition has confirmed that it is still, in a 2-scoop serving, it is still 300 milligrams of caffeine. So what I have is I actually have 5 flavors here. I'm gonna just weigh out 1 scoop, and they don't have any water instructions. I typically like it around 8 ounces of water. Now the next thing I gotta say, and I should have came out right off the bat with this, is that this is a spicy drink. And because it's got the grains of paradise. It does not have cayenne pepper extract. They have a replacement for that, but that does have the grains of paradise. And in the 2-scoop dose, you're gonna get a clinical 50 milligrams of grains of paradise. So each scoop's got 25 milligrams. That's a spice, and they bring the heat. So the question is how they flavor around it or with it. And each flavor is kind of different. Now I have 5 of the 6 flavors. I do not have the dragon fruit flavor. I don't know why. I'm bummed because I kind of love dragon fruit flavors too. But one of these has far and away kind of just separated itself from the pack. And so we're gonna show that. We're gonna do a scoop weigh-in, and let's head into that right now, and then we'll talk about the flavors. Back from our weigh-in, I took a nice little divot out of here, and that for me is a 4.5 gram scoop, if you can't tell there. So it is, I would say 95% full. And so I found myself kind of sticking between, and I never weighed it before. I probably should, because I always tell people to do. Sometimes it's early in the morning, you know, things going on, cats meowing, babies crying. Anyway, I ended up kind of focusing down on a 1.5 scoops, and it turns out that was probably about the right thing to do in terms of not going overload on it. So it is a bit of a heavy scoop. They might want to go down from, if this is like a 11 cc scoop, they might want to go down a 10 cc scoop on the next run. That's my critique so far. So scoop it fluffy, or do an underwhelming scoop if you want to get the 150 milligrams of caffeine per scoop. So the flavors, let's just quickly roll through them. I got 5 shaker cups ready to go, and the one I keep showing is the Honeydew Melon. This is, I don't know what the deal is, but why no one uses honeydew as a flavor. Maybe it's sometimes part of a flavor system. This is a Honeydew Melon flavor system. I have Mango Nectar, which on Instagram, you can follow us on Instagram, we've massively hyped up the BCA mango flavor. You have pineapple. See where they're going with this? All these very sweet tropical fruits to try to take on that spice. And you have strawberry kiwi and guava. A lot of tropical, very exotic fruits. You ain't gonna find no blue raspberry or fruit punch here, even that cold brew coffee flavor they don't have. Maybe they'll come out with it again later, but they don't. So now we're gonna quickly mix up 5 different shakers, and we'll be editing. Now I should show you what at least one of them looks like. This is the Honeydew Melon one. So they're not adding any fake colors in here, which I appreciate. So they all look exactly like this. I actually busted out my nice little pretty plastic cups here to drink them all from. I don't think that's even necessary. We'll do some B-roll shots to show you some close-ups, but overall the powder mixes well. There's like some particulates floating around. I can see some spices floating around. There's all sorts of fun things, but in general, there's no big chunks and there's no grit to it or anything. But we don't need to use a party glass for everyone. So which flavor? I'm gonna start from right to left because I have a little bit of a thing to say. So we're gonna start off with guava. Now, with guava, I don't think I've ever eaten a real guava. And this one is more trying to overwhelm it with the sweetness. The smell is really good. The smell is exactly what I think a guava tastes like. And right off the bat, when you start tasting these, you're like, oh man, they're doing something different here. Now, no matter what, I don't think anyone's ever fully covered up the grains of paradise. In some of these flavors, you can tell they're trying to do that. And in some of the flavors, they work with it and around it. This one is a guava, I think is a pure sweetness cover-up. And if you have, and yeah, I actually like this flavor. I'm realizing I haven't been giving this one enough of a chance. And before we even go any further, well, first off, before we even go any further, I do need to disclaim, these products were sent for free. And so there is, of course, that, and we do have an affiliate partnership. There is a business relationship with Sparta Nutrition. A lot of times, the PricePlow coupons we have on our main site are even cheaper than SpartaNutrition.com. But sometimes some of these flavors, some of these products are only sold through their store as well. And I believe all this stuff's that vitamin shot. But anyway, there is an affiliate partnership here. So I do need to disclaim that. Now, one of the things that I wanted to get into is that one of my favorite things in the morning, when I decided to take Hydrashred, it's kind of, and I don't mean to like upset anyone here, but one of my favorite things is kind of picking out which flavor I'm going to go with today. And I absolutely love that. Now, I have the luxury of having 5 flavors here. I get it. There's $150 for the product or whatever here, and not everyone can do that. And I completely understand. But what I want to say is that this is it's going to be a very positive flavor review in general, because they did different things in each one, but each of them is one of these sweet tropical flavors that I like a lot. And so it's kind of like a fun thing. Like, which flavor do I have, or which one do I have upstairs or downstairs? And so I've always had a good time kind of picking these flavors, and each one kind of brings its own little personality. And I think it's great because you have the same base with all these ingredients, but then they start to taste a little bit different. And, you know, like just different shades of gray here, shades of tropical, really. So the guava attacks with sweetness, and it works well. Kiwi strawberry, which is one of the more standard flavors, I guess, compared to all this other stuff we're seeing here. I don't know how often you get a guava or a honeydew kind of flavor. So here's kiwi strawberry. And one thing I noticed is that, you know, okay, there's more strawberry than kiwi in here, so a lot of you might like that. When I stick with a strict 8 ounces of water per scoop, and I don't overdose the scoop because I went with those underwhelming scoops, the spices definitely, it hits a lot less. Like, it's there, it's in the back of the throat, but it is not as powerful as if you take a heaping scoop or a scoop and a half and mix it with like just 10 ounces of water. That's when it starts getting spicy. So anyway, strawberry kiwi, it's kind of, honestly, compared to everything else, it's good. It's just standard. It's strawberry. I taste almost all strawberry. If you're a strawberry fan, it's a good call. If you're kind of like more conservative and don't want to deal with all these like crazy flavors, that might be the pick. But I think you're missing out because these other ones are fun. Like, you know, honeydew. Can you tell I like the honeydew one? I keep showing it. Okay, pineapple. Now for this one, you get a straight pineapple juice. And it feels like they tried to overwhelm it with the sweetness again, like the guava, but this one has always provided me with way more grains of paradise aftertaste. Like this tub is just, it's spicier at the end. So it tastes good, like good pineapple juice up front, and then the grains of paradise, and then the grains of paradise, and then the grains of paradise. And it turns out I'm a big fan of grains of paradise because I do like the flavor. But I gotta warn you, pineapple, it looks like they've tried to do the full on, just like this is overpower this with sweetness, and the grains just like kind of cuts right through the pineapple and sits there for the aftertaste. I have grains of paradise in my throat right now that has just been stuck there. So whereas the pineapple flavor system from Sparta is really good, it's not working with this particular formula, in my opinion. And I'm a huge sweet pineapple fan and all that. It's just not working for this one. I like it, but at the end of the day, this is probably my least favorite one right now. So Mango Nectar with the peach mango flavor of Sparta's Spartan BCA, where they have some EAAs, they just overwhelm the living shit out of that formula with tons of sweetness. And this one is a way thicker mouthfeel. And when they say Mango Nectar, I think people who buy this, as long as they know that there's still some spice here, the thicker mouthfeel with this one actually may turn some people on in terms of a little bit of satiation maybe. Like you kind of feel a little bit more satisfied with this one. It's definitely sweet, but the spice is still there. It kind of works together, but I think it works well because of the mouthfeel part of it, and it's a thicker drink. So this one, if you like to drink a ton of water with these kind of drinks, this might be the one to go with. I like Mango Nectar. This is like straight on, like full on, lots of mango flavoring. Again, a lot of tropical, a lot of sweetness, probably a good bit of sucralose they're using to cover it up. Now, finally, the Honeydew Melon. This flavor, I just cannot stop drinking. I keep coming back to it, over and over and over. And it tastes just like honeydew. And it works with the spice. I can't even explain it. Like, I love the way that they work together. It's like someone took a fruit and added just the right little dash of pepper to it, and it tastes great. Now, I know some people add salt to their watermelon or whatever, but this is something different, but it tastes just like honeydew. I've never had a honeydew supplement. I'm sure someone out there, someone in the comments would be like, yeah, so-and-so has a honeydew supplement. I've never had one, and I think it is fantastic. So time and time again, I keep grabbing the green tub every single time. And so if you're looking for something different, you gotta realize there is some spice here. But compared to, like, you'd think like all the spice would like mount up as I've been drinking all these different tubs. Not really. Like the strawberry kiwi, the pineapple especially left me with a lot of spice. Drinking the honeydew actually lowered the amount of spice that I feel in my throat because it's just, I don't know what happened. These two flavors just mixed really well together. So I gotta give, honestly, in terms of a product that has a grains of paradise in there, I gotta say that Hydrashred Honeydew Melon has knocked it out of the park, and I don't think there's a better one out there in terms of working with the actual spice. Not trying to overwhelm it, not trying to just like give up or anything, and they work with it. Now, so my review is that I really do enjoy drinking this. One of the things, obviously, I do have a lot of stimulants in the house. Let's just be honest here. What I like about having, starting my day with this stuff is that I can still kind of choose to go into a more hardcore route later on if I'm gonna work out in the afternoon. However, when I start with a hardcore drink, I usually find myself sticking with that stimulant throughout the day. I don't like to mix all these different stimulants. Some people might do that. If I'm going with some form of DMHA, I'm sticking with that form of DMHA for the day. When I have no crazy, weird, exotic stimulants, this leaves the door open for me to do whatever I want later. I've sometimes had this in the morning and coffee in the afternoon. Sometimes I have this, and then I can upgrade if I need a little bit of extra kick or something. I can get that later. So it doesn't really pigeonhole me. And so this is kind of like a more of a personal thing, but I do like having a mainstream, just regular caffeine kind of go-to with it. Now, regarding the formula, we should get into that at this point. I'm not gonna go crazy balls to the wall on the formula because this is all about the flavors. If you can't tell, I'm all about this one. So let me rank them. First, I like Honeydew Melon, then Guava, then third, I'm gonna take Mango Nectar, fourth, I'm taking Strawberry Kiwi, fifth, I'm taking pineapple. And where's dragon fruit gonna end up in there? I don't know, but I think it's gonna be above pineapple. It didn't work for me. So Honeydew Melon is where it's at. Now with this formula, like I said, we're supposed to have 4.5 grams in each scoop. 2 of these scoops makes a full serving. A full serving gets you 3 grams. A full serving gets you 300 milligrams of caffeine. Most of this powder is actually taken up in 2 grams of L-carnitine L-tartrate. And we've talked about that a lot recently. Good ingredient for fatty acid transport, especially if you're carnitine deficient. And then they add another 500 milligrams of acetyl L-carnitine, which is really cool too. And so let me just side rant here already. Sparta Nutrition has a keto series, and the keto shred supplement, which I haven't had the new formula of. The old formula was really good, but it has BHB salts in it, which have calories. Honestly, when I'm in keto, if I'm really trying to burn fat, I want to burn my own fat. And I don't know if I really need those extra ketones. Like once I'm fat adapted and I'm feeling normal and everything, I just need the caffeine and a little bit of something to help me, like, you know, kick off a little bit more lipolysis, which is what's in here. If you have the exogenous ketones, I honestly, what I'm trying to say is, I would rather at certain times not have the exogenous ketones. And if I was on keto, I would take this instead, assuming I was already fat adapted. Then this has a lot of good support ingredients. Another thing with this, it's yohimbe free. I do sometimes add my own yohimbine. We've been trying to post that to the Instagram stories, the stuff I'm taking each day. And so you could add your own, but this is a yohimbe-free supplement, which should make some people happy. Now, where this label gets crazy is all these different forms of caffeine. So one thing is like green tea leaf extract, standardized for 50% caffeine. So that's 200 milligrams there. We're getting 100 milligrams of caffeine right out of green tea. Then we have, I'm skipping down on the label. Then we have 50 milligrams of caffeine anhydrous. Then we have 50 milligrams of dicaffeine malate. Then you have guarana seed extract, 22%, gives you a small hit of caffeine. Then you have green coffee bean extract, which might provide a small hit of caffeine as well. So you have like 5 different caffeinated based ingredients. And so you have like 5 different caffeinated ingredients. I don't know if it's totally necessary, but I do like the mixture of slow and fast. I do like having some natural sources of caffeine. We've been getting into that lately. But in general, it kind of does busy up the label. And I should at least put, listen, this does have 300 milligrams of ultimate total yield caffeine at the end of the day. Now, getting back into the label, we do have tasteless teacrine in here. So not only do they go with the 50 milligrams of spice in the 2 scoops, 50 milligrams of grains of paradise, you have 150 milligrams of tasteless teacrine. And another big thing that I think better than cayenne pepper extract to me at this point, even though there's less research, same mechanism, is the vanillin ingredient. And that gives it a nice little aromatic smell. And so I'm a big fan of anything that has vanillin in it lately. I think it adds to the aroma, if nothing else. But the pathway it uses is the same as the cayenne pepper extract. Then in terms of possible, maybe a little bit appetite suppression, Garcinia cambogia extract, and that's standardized for 60% hydroxycitric acid. Banana leaf extract, standardized for corstolic acid, lowering the blood sugar. I'm telling you, these products are not bad for keto dieters as long as there's not like hidden maltodextrin in the flavor systems or anything. Did I mention yerba mate earlier? That's another form of caffeine. So that's like 6 versions of caffeine in here. And then finally, okay, so 2 ingredients that I think are oftentimes underplayed. And these were brought out way back in the day. Everyone knows I'm a big USB Labs fan. Tertium oligophyllum, which is a beta-2 agonist. And then from cocoa seed extract, N-kuma royal dopamine, and that is also a beta-2 agonist. Now, when they were launching it way back in the day with Compound 20 by USP Labs, they were comparing it to Clen, and maybe it uses like the same pathway divided by 1,000. It ain't no Clen, but at the same time, I do seem to like, I think there's a body recomposition kind of effects that you do get, that I get a little bit from that ingredient. So I'm a fan of these. Now, a lot of times we talk about beta-2 agonists. They tickle up your fight or flight response, try to get your body to mobilize some fat because it's time to fight or flight, preferably fight. And what I like about these ingredients, though, is that the ones that they're using, the beta-2 agonists that they're using in this product, are the non-stimulatory ones. I always get all excited about the stimulant-based ones, but they're kind of sticking with the this is more of a mainstream-friendly product here. And so, in general, I'm a huge fan of this formula, if you can't tell, when I don't want to have crazy stuff like 2-amino-5-methylheptane, or is it 2-amino-5-methylhexane? Who knows anymore? Do I want N-phenethyl dimethylamine citrate every single day? No, I don't. And on the days where I don't, and I don't feel like whipping up a pot of coffee because I know I get a little bit of something extra from these spices here, I am a huge fan of the new Sparta Nutrition Hydrashred. But, I have the luxury of choosing all these different flavors. I've had a ton of fun with it. I do admit that kind of like is cheating in a way. I'm staying away from the pineapple. I think everything else is really good, but this honeydew flavor is just something special. Anyway, this is Mike with PricePlow. Thanks for watching. Brad, thanks for editing. You got all sorts of clips to do here, and the scoop is a little bit heavy. So if you don't want to get overdosed, use a food scale, or for me, go a little bit, a little bit of a divot in that scoop. Otherwise, you might get hit with about 350 milligrams of caffeine if you double scoop it, maybe even a little bit more. It came in heavy. That was the biggest negative feedback. And when that happens, not only are you going to get more stim, you're going to get more of the fat burning ingredients, which is cool, but you're going to go through your tub quicker. And that's the biggest problem. Other than that, this product is well beyond PricePlow approved. I love fat burning drink powders. I love Grains of Paradise. What can I say? If you're digging the spice, then I would find some of these flavors and mess around with them, and they are good to go. Thanks again for watching.
Welcome to PricePlow.